Okay, so week 4 of building my very own homemade soundbar project to sit underneath the TV and all, because of the fact that TV speakers are far too quiet and all. So in today's video and all, we're actually going to go ahead and finish this project off, and it will look something along the lines of this. Oh yeah, no, let's go now. So yeah. Okay, so I have a remote for this camera. How do I turn it on? Turn up! Turn up!
Anyway, no, that's enough of me trying to turn off the camera while using the camera remote's off button. So, last time round of you seeing this DIY soundbar project, it looked like this. As you can see, this is only the bottom of the case of the DIY soundbar project. So the next task is to actually go ahead and build upon this bottom of the soundbar project, and actually expand and start to actually construct the walls out of this base plate kind of thing, board kind of thing, and also, yeah. Okay, I have not worked on this for quite a while. I know it is day 26 and all, because I wrote down all the dates and all on a bit of paper and all. And last time around, if I can find the bit of paper, there we go. Because of the fact I wrote all the dates down, and you can see last time around, with plaster of Paris, the second and first layer. Now, strangely enough, I don't even know what is correct or not, or me saying that the fact that was the last time round, or me writing it down saying that the fact that this was the next footage for the next video and all, which was day 23 if you have a look on that list there and all. So yeah, I don't know, I think I'm just going to go with the list next and all, so yeah. Then, okay, so and then the next task was in order to actually go ahead and start to plaster Paris the very first layer outside and all, and yeah, this is how that went and all, so yeah. Oh my word. Now this is one big bag, very heavy. And how big the bag is and also, yeah. Oh, there we go. 10 grams as last time. Alright, let's see if this thing is actually going to work great or something. It's working! Oh, it's melting. Yeah, there's just a hole right there where it wasn't filled in. So it's caused this side to not actually fill up, but this side is already all nicely filled up to the top there and all. And yeah, what a mess now it made, and also, yeah. Okay, first layer's done, you can see right there. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, I don't know if you can see or not, but you can see all of that. It's completely filled. I've had to scrape off all the extra bits of plaster of Paris now is on this bit of cardboard. This bit of cardboard looks ruined, but I think I'll just end up gluing a bit of paper over it. This and the rest of the cardboard. Obviously, this is all looking nice. I've had to glue this end, this little tiny bit here, had a little tiny hole here. I had to glue it like that, but you just saw that the plaster of Paris is all set up until this point here. I don't even know if it's behind. I don't know if it's behind all this stuff here. I don't know yet, but yeah. Then the next task was to go ahead and keep on moving in segments and all for the sake of that layer number 1, which is the bottom and all. So as you can see, this is what segment A looked like, and then section B. You can see when it will be glued, and you can see when it's going to be glued on. You can see it will cover up until this point here and this point. Okay, this is the piece. Oh, you can see cardboard is on this side, but then some brown tape on this side, and there's some cardboard on this side, and this piece is all done now. No, I'm ready to be glued onto that, and then I can do the second plaster of Paris pour for the bottom, and also, yeah. Look what happens here. This piece is completely filled over the top from this side, and then look, there's a little tiny hole here, and I had to take it out this. I mean, look at that. That's a lot of plaster Paris stuck there. And I just gotta get this out, and also, yeah. Oh my word, how do I do this? Oh wait, hang on a minute. If I stick this in here, and watch this, ready? Oh yeah, look at that. I'm in. Oh yeah. Oh my god, look at that. That's gigantic. So on the small side, you can see I dug that bit, and then on the big side, I dug that bit. I'm definitely keeping this and all. This is really quite cool and also, yeah. Right, now I need to do this bit now and also, yeah. Look at all this mess. So this is all the mess that has come from, obviously, all the spare bits by just pouring that little tiny section right there. And look at it. That's a lot and also, yeah. Yeah, alright. Let's glue that in. On that side, and along the edge just there. So yes, right, that's all been glued. You can see it's all glued there, and all glued along there. This actually looks like this is like a really good proper fresh bit, and then that you can definitely tell that is like an old bit. This one you can't really tell because the plaster Paris is spilling outwards a bit, but I'm hoping that I can paint this bit of the plaster Paris, and for it to all match. And then this bit, well yeah, once painted this bit, it might not look that bad. And then this bit, well yeah, this if it doesn't get as bad as this one, but I'm hoping it doesn't. And I'm hoping it doesn't, but yeah, there's only one way to tell, and because that will look really quite nice with the blackish grey paint there. Right, let's plaster Paris that bit now, and also, yeah. Alright, are we recording? We are. Oh wait, are we recording? Yeah, we are recording. We'll just move that a little bit like that. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's do this. It's still the exact same bag. I don't know. Okay, I got this piece, which is the final piece for the project. I've just finished with the plaster Parising. It was a nightmare, but now I'm starting to think how much plaster Paris do I actually have left. And all. But that is the exact same amount of plaster Paris that I used for the boombox project, so it should be enough for just that project and all. So yeah. Anyway, this is the final piece. You can see that I've brown taped it all. I brown taped it all quite nicely on this side, whilst on this side, obviously, yeah, this side is ready. There's no brown tape on this side, so I can actually paint it once it's done. However, I'm going to add this piece in here, and obviously get rid of all the cardboard around it, and this piece in here, get rid of all the plastic cardboard around it, and then that means that it will have more secure and sturdy when I do the actual pour. Okay, and there we go. You can see we've got holes here and here with the plastic there, and on this side with electrical tape too, heavy duty electrical tape though, all around the edges, and obviously these are still, that means that those two are see-through now, so then whilst the plaster Paris is coming in from this side, when we're looking on this side, we can see whether or not it's actually reached it or not. Now you see that pieces, and now you don't. That's going to go right nicely there. That's going to look really quite cool. Alright, let's do that now, and also, yeah. Okay, this is all glued in. I've made sure that the hole is still there, giggity. And so you can see the tube is still there, and if I place something through it, like this wooden spoon, you can clearly see that, look, that's the wooden spoon, and you can clearly see the hole is still there, and you can still access it. And you can still access it, and also, yeah. As you can see, we've got our clear plastic bits, one right here, so we can actually see if the plaster Paris is going through or not. Now this bit is a little bit raised, and all because I couldn't seem to chip out that bit of plaster or Paris that was sticking out, so yeah, that's why this piece is separate. Obviously this piece here actually ended here, and then swooped upwards from this point here, so and then this piece started from here, and also properly started here, and then had a little bit edge here, so then I could actually fit this thing in the middle. Alright, that's ready. Then we're gonna get this thing, clever little thing, and we're gonna stick it just in there, and then we're gonna put the thingy on top, which is definitely a little bit top heavy there. I'll make sure the top is squish that in there, and then we'll pour it in, and hopefully it doesn't do that, but I think if we just do it like that, and then it should be a-okay. I've just blocked it up again. Yeah, there's no way to get that out. No way to come out. Unless I whack it. Then at that point I just gave up, so what I went ahead and done is just started to pour from the actual lid itself rather than trying to go through that little tiny mechanism that I built back in day 5 and all, so yeah. And I also went ahead and recycled the bits of scrap, bits of plaster Paris that was just laying down on the floor and all, so yeah. Okay, So you can see this bit is actually full, and this bit is actually full of the broken plastic that was just sitting on here, and obviously I'll use the actual plaster of Paris to actually seal up this bit properly and all, rather than using scraps and all. But and then yeah, you can see it is actually completely filled there, worth of scraps. But now what my next task is, I'm actually going to pour PVA glue into it, all of this chamber, and make sure it properly keys up against the plaster of Paris in the cracks and smivets and all. And then we're going to use the water and pour it down there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the brown tape that I put in this layer and this layer, it doesn't seep through anywhere, and it actually makes the plaster of Paris nice and rock solid. And then when I actually put the proper plaster of Paris on top and all, that key up against the other one, and then yeah, that will be good. And also yeah, all right, let's do that now. And also yeah, first time for everything, I guess. And also yeah, right, we'll make sure that we're covering the whole entire area well for it. Okay, and then we pour water. Hopefully, no, this is not a bad idea. I don't think it's a terrible idea, actually. Nothing seeped through. Yeah, oh look, there is a bit of a seep through there. But, luckily enough, the glue gun is right next to me. I'm not seeing any water disappearing, so I'll do more. Now all this is plaster of Paris, and when water and PVA glue and plaster of Paris mix, they turn into rock solid, so surely they should all help and key up against themselves.
A few moments later.
Okay, an hour and 37 minutes later, because that's how long it took me. That's how long it took me to do. We have got layer number 2 all set and ready to go. You can see this has got a nice. You can see we've got a nice wall here. This, but I haven't actually measured it up yet. No. This is where the speaker piece base ports are gonna go. That's actually just gets glued onto there. Oh, okay, that actually lines up with that, and that lines up with that, which is nice. So then it will give us a 2-layer thick wall between it, and also the plaster of Paris will need to be sitting in here. You can see there's a bit of a curve, and then a straight bit of wall, a bit of a curve on this bit. Same goes on this side. There's a bit of a curve, and then a straight bit, and then a bit of a curve. And then on this bit, like I showed you, there's a bit of a curve going from the back to the back, and then it sticks out, and then these bits stick out, and then that's basically because from this point here to here, that is where the plaster of Paris for the bottom ended. So then we've sloped. So then what I've done is ended up sloping it up. So then it can so then the plaster of Paris down there can join up to one another, and then obviously there's stoppers either side. So but it will be filled basically right up to the top. But I need to make sure it doesn't fill up beyond this point here, because this is where the amp is sitting, and all the connection ports like USB, 1 USB and 2 left and right, and axle input maybe, and also yeah. And then this thing. Oh look, the sun's coming out. And you can see this bit is, I don't know if you can, but there's a bit of a slope to it, and then it's a little bit of a step up just to go onto that bit. And then if you go, same goes on this bit, it's like really quite low bit, and then it's a bit of a step up just to get to this bit here. So yeah, without further ado, and then obviously when this bit gets filled up, I'm going to be using, where's those pieces now? Gone. I'm going to be using these 2 pieces. That one goes on the left, and that one goes on. And that one goes on to the right. And then once it's filled, then once the plaster of Paris is filled up to there, you essentially just hot glue those in place, and then it will stop the plaster of Paris from filling up there. And then if you place big plaster of Paris rocks kind of things, it's remaining from the last time, to stop the plaster of Paris from getting into this bit, as this bit is quite narrow and shallow. Right, let's start to do the plaster of Paris now. So yeah, this is all from using the leftover scraps that I had left in here, like the little bits, but not the big bits. These are all the big bits that were left over from yesterday, and then all the little bits. Now I just poured a little bit of water inside there, and then it's all come together quite nicely. And yeah, some of them did have a little bit of dirt. It did have a little bit of dirt and rubble in it, but yeah, I filled up the back now. Pour it. Oh yeah, it's coming out. Coming out, it just came out the side, and if I can try and show you, but yeah, it's coming out the tube. That's excellent. And also yeah, look at that, that's so much better and so neat. So definitely need to continue doing what I'm doing now, and making sure it's actually soggy but not too soggy. So no, this is really nice and flat. Alright, that is the last of it. Now, I have not recorded for an hour, but yeah, I've been just using all the bits and bobs and rocks and all. Obviously, this back wall is completely fine. I don't even know if you can see or not because I can't see the lens, but yeah, you can see that. And then this is all filled and ready to be smoothed off, and all these edges just need to be filled up. And all the same goes with these. And then yeah, we're about there now. Obviously, okay, so there is no plaster Paris left in this big bag, but there is still a little bit left in its original bag. You can see, I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, there's a bit of plaster Paris in there that I can use. But I've got to think reasonably about that. We've still got some big bits, but not a lot of big bits. But I'm thinking my next task is to hot glue this piece onto here, and hot glue this piece onto here. Then obviously I can have the lunch because I haven't had it yet. And then we're going to build upon these two walls, and we're actually going to block the whole entire wall there, block the whole entire wall there, build upon these walls here, and then block it again. Then we'll create the roof, and then using that block we'll continue the wall upwards, and then start to make the curve, and then we can plaster Paris within just that curve, and then it will stretch from this point to here, from this point to here on the roof, and then that means it will be done, and then that should be enough just to cover the roof slab. And also, yeah. Okay, so just had my lunch and finished it, and also put the phone on charge a bit because yeah, the phone's charger just broke yesterday, so I've got a new charger. It's on the new charger at the moment, but it's gigantic, and also... Okay, I can't really see the screen again, but yeah, I mean, it's my shadow, isn't it? Okay, so this is this piece. You can see I've had to cut out this little tiny section here, and then obviously left that section there. Obviously it's all nice and curved, and then that just sits in there. You can see this bang smacks there. That goes over the plastic that I put in there, which was supposed to be in the plaster Paris ball, but then yeah, it might make it inside this port, I don't know yet. And also yeah, on that side and then on this side, it's basically the exact same principle. We've got when it goes in there and then it comes back out, and then we'll go in there and then it comes back out, and then that basically you see it and then you don't, and then when I hot glue that onto there, you don't see it. I am going to have to double layer that, and also add some duct tape and brown tape to them, so then it's waterproofed. So then when I do the next plaster Paris layer, it doesn't leak through. So yeah, alright, let's hot glue them in, and then yeah, see you in a bit, and also yeah. Okay, I have double layered these things, and they still do fit. That is spot on. And you can see this is double layered as well, and that is spot on. Both of them have been, hot glued in there with the hot glue gun. Same goes with this one, this has been hot glued as well with the hot glue gun. Right, let's properly hot glue these in place now, and also, yeah. Now, without realising and all, that was the very last time that I would say hot gluing these bits in pieces and all, because I actually broke the hot glue gun during this time slot. However, and it basically made me go onto a bit of a side quest kind of thing and all, of trying to actually fix the glue gun, and rather than actually trying to make my own homemade DIY soundbar project and all. So, yeah. What fun that was, and also, yeah. I broke the glue gun. But this just needs to reconnect onto there, and it should be fine, and also, yeah. Oh yes! Oh yes! Your boy did it! This bit fell off. Hopefully that still works. Alright, let's put this back in here, and then, yeah, see if it works, and also, yeah. You'd never know that there's duct tape there. You'll never know that duct tape will be there. Once I re-add the lid, and also, yeah. Okay, just repaired the glue gun. Let's see, does it still work? Oh yeah, I had to take off the stand just to get it out. And yeah, that's what the progress on, yeah, that's what the progress is on there. Hopefully this still does work. And it was the trigger button that didn't work, and this completely snapped and broke all the way down there, but yeah. Seems like I've made it fixed itself, and also, yeah. That's still warming up, but yeah, okay. It's gotten a little bit chilly out here now and all, but yeah. But yeah, I'll see you in a bit, and also, yeah. But yeah, I'll see you in a bit, and all, once all this is done, and also, yeah. Oh no, I only just realised, I was like, hang on a minute, I still can't press it down. Nothing's stopping it on this side. That's supposed to be in the case. So I gotta unplug it from there, unscrew it, get that back in the case, and then it should be done and dusted and all, so yeah.
Nobody's gonna know. They're gonna know.
No one's gonna know. There's no handle on it now.
You serious?
It snapped off completely, so the only thing that this glue gun has actually got is a heating element inside, and then hot glue, and then that's it. There's no trigger before it. As you can see, this is like, there's nothing there to support the glue. There's normally like a white bit to support the glue, well yeah, that's broken, so you have to manually push it through here. Then the next task was to actually go ahead and recontinue the soundbar project itself and not the box that sits on the floor. So this is the point of view now and all. So this is the point in the project where I've actually come back from going from one side of the project and then going off-centered a little bit to work on the other bit of the project, and then now I'm going back to the other bit of the project and I very first started and all. So yeah, in week 3. Because when I very first started this project, I was actually making the box that sits on the floor. Then on week 3, I was actually making the actual soundbar itself. And then now, week 4, it's the finishing touches now and all of this project now and all. So yeah. Okay, so this is day 28 of DIY Boom of the DIY soundbar project. You can see all 6 holes are made for all 4 speakers and 2 passive radio covers. All of them lot to go in here. However, this speaker here and here, if you remember the plan back in day 5 and all, yeah, there's supposed to be a bass port in the middle, so, and I thought to myself, hang on a minute, I might be installing that last. However, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to glue these 2 together, and then glue these bits together. However, I was like, hang on a minute, this base port is never going to get put in if I just glue them together like that. So I've made the base port. You can see obviously it's, you know, it's taller on this side, and then it's plastic on this side. Now it doesn't actually look like it's big. This is bigger than this side, but it's a fraction size bigger, and then this just sits in there. And then this just sits in there, and you can see we've got like not a lot of room, have a lot of room to exactly play with and all, but we can probably just put it here. You can see you've got 0.4 centimeters either side. Well, it was just 4 millimeters each side, I think, but yeah. Okay, and just like that, we have cut the circles in the center, and you can see this is what the base port looks like, and you can see there's around about like roughly 7 holes, but you know, if you take that off, you can see there's 3 there, and then it's just a cut out here. Now this piece does fit and all, but you can see now I've had to squish it a bit, but if you have a look at day 5 and all, you actually notice the base port is actually the rectangular and not circle and all, and this is the best rectangular that I can do and all, and not circle and all, so yeah. And it does fit. Obviously it's a bit hard to show you and all, but you know, and then you can see this sits in there, and then there we go. You can see that piece just sits in there really quite nicely, and obviously, you know, it will get hot glued all around here, and it will obviously get hot glued all around here as well and all.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I think I got a little bit of carried away right there, Donal, but yes, we have got the official soundbar working now and all. So you can see we've got the front plate is all nicely glued on, and we've even added the base port in, and that was a nightmare, to be honest, to put in and all. I was thinking to put this into these 2 pieces and then glue these 2 pieces in all in at once, but instead what I did is I glued this piece in here, and then I put the base port in and glued that up just on the side here, and then I plopped in this piece here, and then glued in the rest, and then glued in the rest here, and obviously you can see that's all glued in at the bottom. I've also added the cardboard in on the sides just there, and just there. Now, rather than strangely enough and all, these cardboard pieces, like you literally just saw, they're not going anywhere. Like, this is like rock solid, and it's not going to go anywhere, which is really quite surprising for cardboard. I mean, look. That's literally not going to go anywhere. And I'm guessing that the fact that this bit of cardboard is like the honeycomb shaped cardboard, which is a lot more stronger than if you were to use like one of these thin sheets of cardboard and all. So yeah, or you know, just cardboard off a toilet roll. So yeah. Same goes on this side. This is like honeycomb shaped cardboard, and like it's not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna go anywhere. It's like rock solid. as if it was plastic. Same goes on that side, and you can also see as well now I've added some wall pieces in between this baseboard, and actually came to the conclusion and all that noticed something and all. These passive radiators, this one don't fit. This one does not fit in here. Look, you can see that it touches. I mean, you can't really see it, but you know it touches. You can't see it at the front, but you can see it on the back, and you notice it's touching the wall. There you go. It's touching the wall. That's not good. Whilst if we compare it to the other side, and all you can see there's quite a lot of space there, and then bam, just like that, it's not touching the wall. This can easily go backwards and forwards. So, but however, and all, I have come to the conclusion, and all, is I'm just going to have to deal with it, and all. Obviously, you know, this spaceport here, and all, is more leaning to the left-hand side, and all, and not on the right-hand side. Although you can see there's less, it's most likely covered on the right-hand side, not the left, and all. And you can see it on here. This line is not exactly in the middle, and it's barely anything on this side. And then there's a lot on this side, and the middle bit is actually here for the actual base of the soundbar project, but then at front you can see it moves to here. Rather than being from here, it moves to here.
A few moments later.
Okay, so that was a bit of a pain in the butt to glue in this one. I did try and glue in this one, then this one. That one just kept on falling out, but then it did stay in there at one point, and then I tried to move it in and out, and then that just ripped out. Whilst this one, I tried to glue it in, and it didn't even glue it in. So what I went ahead and done is see that there's a pad on here. I've actually desoldered. I've actually taken the pad off here, and I think this is what the pad originally looked like, or maybe this one. I don't know. But we're just gonna see. If it does actually move, you can see there is a ton of hot glue on this bit, and this is where the wall is, and this is quite close to the wall, and it's been glued onto the wall. So I want to see if I can see that moving. No, I want to see if this passive radiator does not move to this 2-inch 10-watt woofer. What I'm going to do with this other one that's supposed to go here, I'm just going to end up gluing it on there, similar to what I done here, do a test run with this one again, and then move up to this one, and then move up to this, and then move up to this one, and then see what happens. Alright, 2-inch 10-watt woofer, exact same song, there's Bluetooth, pick it up. There we go, it's picked up. I don't know if I can see that moving or not. Oh yeah, that's moving. That is moving. That is definitely moving. There's barely any backspace on the speaker. So obviously I just finished recording this and all, and I was going to say glue in that one and then see you in a bit and all, but I just had a look. My phone case has been, obviously the fact that I had my phone here resting on the power bank because it's plugged into it because it's low on charge, but this was actually resting on the glue gun. And yeah, that's still hot. Look, it's still plugged in and it's still switched on. Right, anyway, let's glue this one in here and then, yeah, see you in a bit, and also, yeah. Now, strange things aside, in the next step for this project, I've actually got to make a temporary case to actually go on top of it and all, just so, and then that means that I can actually still be able to open the soundbar project and then close it back up again, just in case if the speakers ever disattach themselves or cause any break or damage and all. So yeah, so what I went ahead and done and all is actually used the cardboard template that I actually used back in week 3 of this project and all, which is crazy to realise that the fact that is now going to be for the roof of it, even though it's cardboard and all, but it's for the sake of the fact that if the speaker wires ever disattach from the speakers, then how on earth do I get to it? That's the only main reason why it's a foldable bit of cardboard instead. So yeah, and it will also help this project speed up way more quicker than it is, and also yeah, because this project is taking me for ages, and also yeah. And now you can actually pick it up and look at it. It's not got 4 speakers in it yet, but I mean, look at it. To think I think this is made out of recycled items and also, yeah.
A few moments later.
I have not seen this project in a while, but I need to cover up these bits. This is not glued on yet, and glue on this bit. And then I can glue on these bits, and then yeah, see you in a bit, and also yeah. Okay, that's me done for outside now. I can do it for inside now, so yeah. Alright, time to paint this. Okay, as you can see, we are back inside with this project. For once, this project is actually back inside. And all, thank God and all, this is actually back inside now and all. And to think and all, this project looks like this now and all. And when it was before then and all, like, you know, when this bit of the project and all was actually inside and all, it didn't even look nothing like this. And now it looks like this and all, so yeah. Don't need this frame anymore. Yet. Right, let's deconstruct this and also, yeah. This drawer will never be a drawer again. It won't be hard to hold anything on the bottom, but you can easily just take that up to be honest, and also, yeah. Then the next task was to actually go ahead and rip open a USB Type-C to C charging cable, and that was worth 60 watts, and of screw fix as well and all. So yeah, and then I came to the conclusion that the fact that it used the sleeving for the negative cable and a red cable for the positive cable. But then it made me wonder, this cable works with a laptop and does data positive and negative through it. Where on earth is that happening? So, and then I realised that the fact that there was a green and white and blue wires inside the cable and all. Now I didn't know which one to choose for the sake of this soundbar project and all. So I ended up using the green wire and all, because for some odd reason and all the other wires were actually just rope in coloured wire for some reason. It was crazy and all. So yeah, hopefully I can get it done today, but we'll wait and see, because if this green cable don't work, I'm going to have to try my best and put positive and negative in both of these cables. Long story short, I did put both positive and negative wires for the right hand side speaker in that black cable, and then the positive and negative wires for the left hand side goes in the left grey cable and all, because for some odd reason and all, you'll see it in the video and all, that the fact the green cable that I tried to end up using for the sake of this project just didn't work and all, so yeah. Okay, so I know that the fact it looks like a mess, but basically you got these two jacks here, they both trail down into both of these two cables. So you've got 3 cables coming in this one cable, and then you've got 1 cable going in here. There is actually a spare cable in here, just in case if I actually do need to use it. Which I end up using it anyway, and also, yeah. And there's also 2 other spare ones, the white and blue ones. They're still in here, so which don't even actually work in the first place, because they're just rope and not actual bare wire inside the wires. So you got this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit, even this bit, because the wire wasn't long enough, so I had to make an extension to it. And then one of these I done yesterday, or the day before, I can't remember, the day before yesterday, because, you know, I was at college obviously, you know, and then, you know, so yeah. We got 2 spare wires here for the 2-inch 3-watt woofers to go in, and we got 2 spare wires here for the 2-inch 3-watt woofer to go in. We got now all that's left to do is hot glue all these two speakers, one in there, organise the cables by duct taping the cables into the case, so then the wires don't even move, and all just like the boombox project, how I had to duct tape the wires down in some places, whilst in others I just let them dangle, and then yeah, we'll see how it gets on then, and also yeah. I don't know, I think I've just given up on this project, well, just by a little bit, and also, yeah. So basically, what happened, is this amp right here, which is a dual 30-watt amp. Now, it's supposed to be powering both of these 2-inch 10-watt drivers. Yeah, it ended up stop working, and it was a right pain in the butt, and there was just no power going through it, and when there was, the right-hand side speaker was just refusing to work, and all. And yeah, it might have been because of the fact the green cable was completely broken, and you can actually see that the fact that I had to have crocodile clipped the green cable from one end to the other because of the fact it didn't even work in the first place and all. So yeah. Okay, so now with all the sad stuff out of the way, with the dual 30 watt and green cable stopping working and all, let's actually see and test to see if this project is actually going to work. Because if this project is actually going to work, then that means that we can actually end this video and all, because it's basically like a proof of concept and all, so basically never going to give up on a project and always keep persevering on a project, even if you see the downfalls on a project and you feel like that it's going to take forever, you're going to get there in the end and all, so yeah. Alright, now for the moment of truth now. Does this project work? That was moving now. That was moving. That was moving. That was moving. Still sounds like it's coming from there though, I know. But like, you know, maybe. But when it's possibly inside its case like that, no, I think we're gonna have to go up top just for the better experience. I don't know, and also, yeah, I've actually learnt something. So you know, I've actually learnt something and all. You know the reflection on that. Most TVs and all, most people and all put their soundbar underneath the TV. I was thinking, oh, hang a minute, I'll just put it on the desk and all. It should be fine, even though I'm looking at that direction, and I normally sit here. So then I was thinking, oh, hang on a minute. Let me just put my homemade soundbar, right underneath the TV and see what happens. It's right underneath the TV. Obviously, the TV's off right now, but obviously, I was thinking to myself, hang on a minute. It's not, when it's on the desk here, it's not actually in line with the ear level and all. But when it's right there, obviously, I'll be looking up at the TV and it's in line with ear level. So when you actually watch something,
Peace. It is time to take the next step on your journey. I'm not going to be the Dragon Warrior anymore.
it's live audio. And all I've done is placed it there. So all I need to do is use this amp. And that's it. And obviously maybe crank up the bass or something like that. And then, why did I not think about this beforehand and all? So yeah, I do not need this dual 30 watt amp and all. I can deal with this as a little tiny, small little tiny Bluetooth 5 watt amp. Dual 5 watt amp and all. I can deal with this and all. That's just crazy and all. So yeah, anyway and all, I'm going to classify that as this is day 30 of my DIY soundbar project, and I'm safe to say that this soundbar project is done now and all. So yeah, yes, you heard me correct. This soundbar project is done now and all. I'm going to classify day 30 as done and all. So yeah, it's been a long one and all. So yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's longest DIY project that I've ever done and all, and I'll see you in the next one and all. Bye bye and also, yeah.